Good evening, everyone. I am RWP, the Real World Prepper. I've got a question. Are you radical enough? Are we radical enough? What do I mean? Stick around and we'll talk about it. Hey, if you haven't already, join me on Patreon. I'll put the link in a pinned comment down here. It's also in my About section. It's $1. We have different discussions over on Patreon. I share different things, different news articles, all kind of good stuff over there that's not here. And I would appreciate your support over there. It's $1. Here we go. Well, good evening and hello, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching. I am RWP. I can prove it because it says so right here on my quasi name tag. How are you guys doing this evening? It is, I don't know when this video will post, but it is Friday, December the 3rd at about 7:50 Central Time. And I wanted to talk about something. Are you radical enough? Are we radical enough? All right, what do I mean? Well, been listening to some podcasts and some different things, and there is, many of you probably know this, but there is there's a burgeoning, if you will, of right-wing-ish conservative. I hate to use those terms, I really do. Left, right, Democrat, Republican, all that stuff. But just so you get what I'm saying, there is a growing population of young people, college age mainly, that are that uphold and have conservative views. Now, they are not, in a lot of ways, they're not traditional conservative views. They're viewed to be a bit more radical. In that, let's say the stodgy days of Reagan-era conservatism, republicanism, whatever you want to call it, where, you know, Republicans largely, the old school, the old guard, right-wingers, you know, conservatives, whatever, however you want to call it, would, you know, didn't want to rock the boat too much. We'll do a little bit of tweaking here, you know, and trying to appease and get along, and a little bit of tweaking here, you know, the things we can do to adjust things to suit everyone and but not rock the boat too much. And I think that, and I was listening to, I'm not going to mention what I was listening to. It was actually it was a left-leaning thing. I do that a good bit, by the way. I've mentioned that before, that I listen to what, you know, the folks on the other side of where I stand and what I believe. You know, I like to know where they are, where their heads are, what they're thinking, you know, what's going on. And anyway, so listening to this, they were talking about it, and of course in their minds in this particular program, it was you know, it was a threat to them, I guess, in a way, or whatever. It was, you know, because we've got these young people coming up, and that's not exclusive to young people. I mean, I'm sure many of us older folks, maybe, you know, can be a little more radical. But the point was this. It was about, are we willing to rock the boat enough? Are we willing to be as much on the offense as we like to play defense, and play it very safely, I might add? You know, are the days of, again, the you know, stiff, you know, hold your ground and don't move an inch, you know, or maybe a couple of centimeters, but not an inch, republicanism from, you know, the 80s and earlier. Is that sufficient to enact and exact the change that, frankly, we need? You know, the progressives believe that they're on the right side of history. They believe that all the changes they make to our society that stick, and of course they've got their hand in everything, as you know, and they influence mostly the stuff that is consumed in mass. You know, it's not even as much about policy, although that's very important, but it's about mindset. You know, it's about influence and changing the minds of people, and really that comes from our youth. You know, when our youth's minds are changed, and they're sucked into this system of, suckiness, for lack of a better term. A lot of times they don't know any better, So anyway, are we being radical enough as people who believe what we believe? We believe in God. We believe in being prepared. We believe in our freedoms. We believe in everyone being able to live their own lives, right? But not at the expense of other lives, not at the expense of the rights of others, and all these things. So what is it going to take? All right, now I'm asking that rhetorically, I suppose, because I do not have the answer. And this is something I'm thinking about, trying to hash out in my own mind what I think about it, what I believe, what are the steps we should take to, I guess, in essence, radicalize ourselves. I think it's something we should all be thinking about. The days of, now look, I'm not talking about, violence or anything illegal in these types of things. However, I will say that if there is a law that is on the books that is unconstitutional and morally not right, then, I don't intend to follow it. Okay, so in that regard, sure, I might be talking about things that might be illegal, one day, or in some instances. But I'm not talking about going out and creating havoc and pain and suffering and death and things of that nature. That's absolutely not what I'm talking about. We take the high road. We've often been way too polite. We are way too polite. Now, I don't think that means we need to be rude, just to juxtapose to the word polite, but I don't think we should just roll over like we always do. So I'd like to hear from you guys in the comments. You can email me. It's in my About section, an email address there. It's theworldcanspeak@AOL.com. Yes, it's an AOL account. I'm old. But, and I'll forgive you. I will ask for your forgiveness on the front end. I don't get to check that account, but about once a week. And without going into detail, it's some crap with the phone and just my access and my time and all that. But anyway, but you can comment here. You can hit me up on the email address. I have a P.O. box over there in the About section too. I'm also on Patreon. I would love it if you guys join me on Patreon. I share some different things over there, and we occasionally have different discussions that aren't here on the tubes of views. But anyway, just like to know your thoughts on how do we radicalize? Are we radical enough? Are you radical enough? What does that mean? For us to be radical in our goals and what we're trying to achieve. In our society, so that it doesn't fall completely apart. I mean, it's nearly there. What does it mean, though, to achieve these things and to help to maintain, see, there I go, maintain the status quo. I don't want to maintain the status quo necessarily, but I don't think we should flip the whole world upside down to where right is wrong and, up is down and left is right and, boys are girls and girls are boys. No. This is what I'm talking about. So, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Appreciate you guys watching, everybody here. Like I say, go join me on Patreon if you haven't already. It's $1. Come on. You can pledge more if you want, but it's $1. $1. Come on. Thanks. I'm the Real World Prepper. Proof. RWP. Talk to you soon. Thanks.